Shoulder deer.
This is the golden rule. Trust it. Let's talk about it. We don't gotta walk around it. Your Bluetooth, the new tennis shoe. We finding new balance. Faith, family, and talents. How we find God around it. Each y'all got the ox now. This your favorite channel. What we on Faith Talk? This a good space to talk. We gon' cross every road if we got a jaywalk. What we on sports now? No, this ain't Sports Center, but ever since Acock, the boy had the sport in him. Man of the house now. What we talking family ties? My dogs won't talk to me. Surely I'm a family guy. You can bring the conversation to me, get it analyzed. Men lie, women lie, the truth should be baptized. Whatever you put into this world is what you getting back. So while you listening in your car, try and sit with that. While you listening in the gym, try and lift the mat. This is Podcast and Pool. Welcome to the Golden Rule. It's golden, baby.
Yo, what up? What up? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening, folks? Man, it's your boy E Show. I'm here today, man. I'm back with a special episode. And I got a special guest today, man. This takes me way back. This is my partner from years ago, man. It's a special one, man. And for the folks who went to school with me, they gonna know who this is. Trust me. Man, we got a very esteemed gentleman, a very esteemed colleague of mine, man. All conference high school player in the state of Oklahoma. He earned the athletic scholarship to Abilene Christian University. A teammate of mine, I played semi-pro over there for many years. This is one of the best teammates I had over there. More importantly, man, this dude was a mentor, and he also kind of showed me the ropes, man, helped groom me to become the man that I am today, man. He is currently the dean of students at Eisenhower Middle School over there in Oklahoma. Former Lawton High School running back coach, defensive back coach. He coached the receivers, special teams coordinator, man. He's just a all-around stellar guy, man. And man, I'm excited, man. I'm elated to have him today, man. Man, I want y'all to help me, man. Help me introduce my partner, De'Andre Swanson, to the episode, man. What's going on, Sugar Train?
What up? Shoulder deer. What's good, family? How you doing, man?
Man, I'm blessed, bro. I'm blessed.
Yeah, man. Happy to be here. Thank you for having me, man. I appreciate it. I've been watching. I've been paying attention to you, and you got something nice going on here, man. I appreciate it. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of it, family.
Man, always, man. I made this the concept of this podcast. I had you in mind because of people like you, man. So it's you. It's my pleasure. It's my privilege to have you on here, man. I definitely appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, man. I appreciate that. Good. The feeling is mutual, family. The feeling is mutual, man. Let's rock.
Let's get it, man. Let's get it. You said something there before we went live. You said, show the deal. Man, tell me, man. What's going on? Where'd you get that from, man?
So to be honest with you, I got it from you. The homie Jesse. It's a couple of names I could drop. Our little homies that kind of run around the city, man, the city of Lawton and whatnot. And they kind of know what that means. To be honest with you, I really don't know what it means other than it's just some kind of little colloquial, greeting that we used to shoot back and forth at each other, man. And our little way to say that we recognize each other. I see you and what's up, family? You know what I'm saying? Like your family, your people. I got a couple of homies, Craig Foster. In particular, is about the only other person I could shoot that at. I'll get it back because he know what's up. But yeah, man, that's what it is. You remember them days we was working at the gym, little shoulder deal, and I'd be out there giving you them. Yeah, you talked all that about football, but you ain't mentioned nothing about basketball, though.
Oh man, I don't see. A lot of people don't even know how cold I was, but we gonna say
that. Yeah, you was like that. You was like that, yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Man, we got you on today. Of course, the topic of discussion for this particular episode is education in our community. And I know you got a lot to touch on that. Very influential, of course. But before we get to that, I want to tell I gotta let people know your athletic background, man. I'm gonna tell you, it's a lot of people who know De'Andre Swanson in Oklahoma, man, and the people who know him know that, man, although he was a smaller guy in stature, bro, nobody had a bigger heart. And I'm gonna tell you, man, the guy outworked almost everybody. He was the hardest working dude I knew, but just put it like this: the amount of talent that he had, if that was in a 6-foot body, no question, everybody across worldwide would know who he is. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I appreciate that. That's kind of how I felt too. My bank account would appreciate it if I was about 6 feet tall too. But nah, man, I credit and attribute a lot of that to my pops because so early on in my athletic career or whatever, at the early beginnings, man, my pops was my coach in everything except football, which is really weird. But now, I mean, being a smaller guy, being on the smaller side of things, and knowing that size can, in some ways, in a lot of different ways, be a disadvantage, especially in football. There was that sense or that need for me to be able to outwork and work harder, twice as hard as anybody else, because if I wanted to get the same results in my mind anyway, I felt like I had to work twice as hard as everybody else to do it, man. So that definitely kind of came across. And I think too, another thing that really separated me, was my enthusiasm, bro. I love football. I love the work of it. A lot of people don't necessarily fall in love with the discipline of what it takes to be exceptional or to be standout or to be great at a thing. And I just think, from you haven't been around me athletically, but also in a work setting, like, when we worked together out at Honeycut, you remember them days, bro?
Oh yeah.
I was willing to put the work in. I was willing to do things that other people wouldn't do. Some things that people kind of shied away from, and hard work, bro, has never been a stranger to me. So, unfortunately, I didn't get the opportunity to do nothing to make millions of dollars playing football. But the truth is that there was still an impact there. I think the ability to leave an impact or have an impact on guys like yourself. And now what I'm doing with these kids, man, is undeniable. So I appreciate the accolades. I appreciate it, bro. But the truth is, man, I got everything I needed to get out of the game. And now even more so because I'm getting to give back and teach young people about life and how to be a good man, utilizing the game of football, utilizing the game of basketball, so on and so forth, bro. Yep.
And that's key because you are always a leader of men. Like, you got younger men to listen to you, but also the older cats took heed to what you were saying as well. And it all was by what you led by. You always led by example. And I knew that, and especially when you start working with kids in the community and stuff like that, I knew that there was going to be an easy transition for you because you were already used. Again, you had Dreon and Draylon out there when they was,
oh yeah,
babies, right? So
yeah.
We already knew, and you was always like, it wasn't like you was always watching them to see if they was looking at you to see what you was doing. No, that's just the type of person you were, man. You were always a leader amongst men. Not only, we obviously knew that we could depend on Dre to make the big play, right? I mean, that went without saying. That was going to happen every game, regardless.
Yeah.
And, you know what I'm saying? But
more often than not,
yeah, for sure. For sure, man. But you were always a leader amongst men. So I knew that it was going to be an easy transition when you decided to work with kids in the education system because you knew how to, motivate people and get people, to get on that path. Not an easy task to do, but we knew that it was going to be easy for you to do, man. Absolutely,
man. I've been blessed with a certain stash, a certain cachet of charisma. And so that kind of almost makes it a little easier. But this is the one thing I will say, man, about that, because you could be flashy and you could be fly, and you can draw people in with that. But once that wears off and once that goes away, is there some real substance up underneath all the flash? You know what I'm saying? You know me and a couple of the homies. It took us an extra 45 minutes to get ready. We here spatting our shoes up and making sure our towel is hit right, taping the wrists up and all this extra stuff, right? But that wouldn't mean anything if the plays didn't come, if the touchdowns, if the punt returns, if the interceptions, you know what I'm saying? So if there was no real impact that I was making or that you making on the game, then really all you trying to do is look cute, bro. Mm-hmm. You're just shucking and jogging for real. So for me, you remember that movie Jerry Maguire back in the day?
Of course.
With my dude, I think it's Cuba Gooding Jr., right? He was talking about having the Quan, right? The total package, right? Having it all. I wanted it all. And he wanted the money to go with the substance, with the flash and the personality and all that type of stuff. So there was definitely, if you really want to be honest, once you have what you need from a substantive standpoint, then you can add all this other fluff and looking good and spatting your cleats and talking greasy and grimy and trying to be flying all that other type of stuff. Because the truth is, bro, if you can't back that up with the way you play, then you just talking, man. You know what I'm saying? You just walking. So that's something that I took a great deal of pride in. And like, no matter where I've gone and no matter what I've done, with any sport, I don't think that there's anybody, especially even at my size, that could say I couldn't play or, that I was trash or, you know what I mean? I didn't leave my imprint or make an impact. And I think that speaks to, that speaks more than any other accolade or anything, that we could talk about. Seriously.
I agree 100%, man. It ain't nobody really and truly. I can't think of one person that can say that, man. And you're right. I took that right there when it comes to, putting up or shutting up on the field. Definitely.
Yeah, man.
I definitely took a page out of the book, man.
Yeah.
You're right.
That's life. That's life too. That's life too now.
Yeah, for
you
sure.
know what I'm saying? That's life too. It's a lot of people that talk this and talk that, but when the rubber need to meet the road, family, when something really got to get done, are you that dude or are you just talking about you are that dude? That's two different things, bro. Two different things.
Bro, I got a bunch of stories, bro. Like a bunch of stories. I want to touch on a couple of them real quick.
Okay, let's do it. Let's dive deep. I got a couple myself. Yeah.
So the first story is this. And this one I was like, yeah, man, like I'll follow this dude through any battle ever in life, bro, when it comes to this football stuff.
I feel like I know where you're going with this.
I don't know if you strained your knee. I don't know if you tore a meniscus or I really think you tore it for real. But I was playing quarterback. We played for the Diamonds. Man, that's a story in itself. But I was playing quarterback.
Okay, so where were we at again? Say that again.
I was playing quarterback.
For
the Dunkin' Diamonds, and we went to, I think Southeast Missouri. No, yeah, we went to some college in Southeast Missouri State. Was playing this team, and you was like, bro, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I don't know how much I can give y'all, but and you played receiver that day. You remember when you ran that slanting out, and I threw,
yeah.
Bro, what did you do to your knee?
So actually, the week or a couple weeks prior to that, we played up in. If you remember, we played up in Ada, and a lineman. I was blitzing. I was coming down blitzing A gap. I forget what the call was we had for that knife or scissor or something like that. Anyway, right. I walk down and I go to blitz through A gap, and I got cut, man. And I felt like it was pretty dirty too, man. Little lineman cut me, hit me right on that knee, and I thought, or at least because it's something that I had never had happen to me before, and I actually went. At the time, I'm not even really sure I had health insurance or nothing like that. But I went to go see an athletic trainer, and he told me he thought that I had torn my ACL. That was on my left knee, and I remember I sat down probably for about 2 or 3 weeks, and we ain't touched on this yet, but we gonna get there. Man, I went to church, man. I remember this like it was yesterday. The week before we played that game, I went to church. And the pastor, man, I told him about my knee. We got together, man. He prayed over my knee, And like right after that, I never had another problem with that leg, man.
What?
And I remember catching that ball. I feel like I caught a touchdown and maybe even a 2-point conversion too, or something like that. I don't want to be one of them dudes adding on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Embellishing. But I remember what you're talking about. I remember that.
Yeah. Bro, when
And
you did that, because remember we was down like by 3 or 4 touchdowns, and we end up coming back and going to overtime. Remember Ray Vaughn caught that touchdown?
Yeah, bro, I remember that.
When you ran that, first of all, dog, for people who don't understand, like when you tear your ACL,
yeah, your knee ligament thing, that ain't no joke.
There's no lateral movement. Okay,
that ain't no joke, bro.
Bro, this man ran a slant and out, bro. And when I tell you that created so much, I said, "What the?" Hey, I said, "Oh my god!"
Fell out there, chair on there, dude. Gave me head and shoulders. Look, that's all I got is head and shoulders. In and out. Yeah, man.
Bro, you was real. I knew you was real, but when you did that with a, I think you tore it. But when you did that with a torn ACL, I said, "Man, this dude real, man." Hey, something wrong with this.
I appreciate that. So something that you don't know, you know, in the middle of me kind of going through that too, and none of this really makes you tough down when you look back on it, right?
Right.
So there's a thin line between being tough and being dumb, being stupid.
Right.
But again, I never went and had an MRI. I never went and got like an official diagnosis or nothing like that. And I remember at the time I was working out on Forest Hill. We were doing security on the gate. Me and a couple of the other homies who played. And I remember standing up on them gates, man, for like 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day, and my knee swole up. And just I don't know, man, just doing what you got to do, man, to survive, doing what we had to. And that one of the real reasons why I appreciate it and why I wanted to don this today, man, why I wanted to rep for the Rebels, man, is because like that was a period of time in my life when we were younger, man. It was beautiful. There was something special about that unit, about that group of men, our ability to come together, especially, bro, in a place like Lawton, where in a lot of ways it's kind of almost still like that. But I remember us, going to the school board, going out to Cameron, and going all these different places and wearing suits and ties and pitching, these ideas for the team and being shut down and no, you can't play here, no, you can't play there. And whether that was because the people who came before us didn't represent it the right way, didn't carry that mantle the right way. It was still something that was an outlet for us. It gave us something to do on Saturday nights. For sure, in my life, in a lot of different ways, it kept me from getting in trouble. It gave me something constructive to do. Yeah, man. And it kept, I ain't never been a street dude, so that never really was gonna be a problem for me. But we had a couple dudes that was cut from that cloth. That man, if they weren't playing with us on Saturday, bro, ain't no telling what they would have been doing. So and again, I think I don't want to take the conversation left, but that speaks to the mentality of where it is that where we lived at the time, and some of the reluctancy that people had to give young people of color, especially, a shot, man. And so, man, when I look back on it, there's so many different layers deep for what the Rebels means to me and what it meant to be your teammate, bro. So and in a minute, I'm gonna hijack your podcast because I got to talk about you too. So let's go.
Hey, man,
let's go. Because I got a story too. You want to dive into that? We can trade war story. Okay. So first of all, let's keep it a buck. Okay. Now, there was a time when I know for a fact you weren't even interested in playing quarterback. You was like, nah, I don't want that responsibility. And it was almost kind of like, you were shunning that, right? So, and this is so dope because I think this is going to bring this conversation full circle a little bit. I'm going to try to tie a bow on it and not be too long-winded like I normally am. But I don't even know. I feel like because we might have been working together or something. I can't remember if I wrote you, text you, or something like that. And I was talking to you about the ability that you had that maybe you didn't even think that you had, the athletic ability. And because of that ability, it mandates that you step up and lead. You remember that? I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, I think,
Also,
man, I think I do.
so also too, and this was a big one. I think you know, a lot of people, and I deal with this every day at work. You know, there's a lot of young people who kind of shy away or run away from leadership, having leadership potential, and having the ability, excuse me, to lead other people, because you don't necessarily want to be held responsible or whatnot when something goes wrong or when something fails. And man, that's the wrong reasons to do that. I think a lot of people miss out on grand opportunities to promote themselves or to move up in the world, because they're afraid of what might happen or what might go wrong. What if something goes right, bro? You know what I mean? What if you step up into this position, or you know, you move up and things go the right way? So, and that's exactly what happened when you became a quarterback. So,
right,
I definitely appreciated the fact that there was some trepidation or some hesitation on your part, but after having a conversation and having these talks, and getting to know you a little bit better too, man, you know, and seeing you step into that role and flourish. I remember, okay, so I'm gonna take you back to Joplin, Missouri. Okay, we sit down watching film. I think this was at Carvin's house, or I don't think you were there at this particular time. But we were talking about formations, tendencies, and all this other type of stuff. And I know you remember this particular play though. We got them backed up in their goal line almost. They might have been inside their 5-yard line, something like that. And the way that they lined up, the little motion, the splits that they took, everything. I remember telling you, hey, listen, Eddie, the slant is coming, bro. The slant is coming. Stay inside, jump the slant. And I listen. As soon as the ball got snapped, you drove on that ball. You remember this? You drove on that ball and picked that ball, walked it right back in the end zone. So it's little stuff like that, man. It's you know, it's and I think in those moments, in those moments, you had the opportunity to kind of see, you know what, man, Dre was right. You know what I mean? And I think that's a good thing. That's a part of you know, I'm studying. I'm getting my master's degree now in ed leadership. So thank you, man. We've been looking at a lot of what it means to actually be a leader, right? And there's all these different theories, and all these different theorists, and all these, you know, little variables that go into what make people good leaders, bro. And at the end of the day, I think it's the grandest thing that you can do, and the easiest and the best way that you can lead is by example, bro. And I that's always been my motto. And you know that, having played with me, having been around me, as a father, you know, as a husband, and all that. So definitely, we got a couple more football stories we can get into. But I just remember, man, hey, Eddie, the slant coming, Eddie. Watch the slant. My man walked right down on that ball too, and walked it right on in there.
Nobody. Look, man, you approach the game like ultra cerebral, but and that's one thing I had to make sure that I at least tried to match that. Like this dude, like you showed me the importance of studying film. And tendencies and stuff like that. Because I mean, like you say, man, when I came into the Rebel situation, bro, I was deep at the bottom of that roster, bro. Talking about working yourself up, like it wasn't nothing like. And I'm gonna show you how that's full circle. Me coming over here to North Carolina playing ball, but I was under some talented dudes, man. But like I said, you took me under your wing, man. And that exact play you talking about, hey, you told me before the game, hey man, if they line up in this formation right here, dog,
I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming.
Hey, I heard. Hey, bro, I heard you in the game. And you say, hey, the slant coming.
The slant is coming, bro. The slant coming. You walk. I remember this like it was yesterday, bro. You walk right down in front of that ball. Because I felt like I had a really good game. I think we ended up losing the game or whatnot. I think that was about, I don't know if you can see my knuckle right here. I put it up on the camera. That might be kind of gross.
Yeah.
Wifey get mad at me. I don't know if you can see how fat that knuckle is, but I felt like that was the day I actually broke that finger. Because I had already dislocated it earlier in the season, but because I remember I caught a pick, I had like a fumble recovery or something like that. And these are all things that, at first I wasn't really into watching film and breaking film down and doing all this other type of stuff. All these extra prerequisites if you really want to get good at it. But these are tools that I think, definitely helped make me a much better football player and definitely a better coach. Definitely, it's like you can't really call yourself, a high school coach. I even think a middle school coach. When I was coaching, I ended up coaching middle school football at Central, where I went to school for a year, bro. And it seemed like it was a foreign concept to film the games and sit the kids down and break down film and talk to them about how they can do better, how you miss this block. This technique is what's going to help us get, all that type of stuff. So definitely, man, definitely. We in 2005 and 2006, bro, in 2005, 2006, we were a force to be reckoned with. We had some dudes on those teams. You know what? Let me get this off my chest. Rest in peace, PJ Charity. Rest in peace, Craig Carter. Rest in peace, Jason DeBay. Malcolm Johnson, Jawan Jackson, Derek Camacho. Like the AJ list goes Lewis, on and on. Mon Allen, Matt Allen, Alonzo, and Matt
Allen, man.
Zoe's kid, I got Zoe's kid at the school now. I got introduced to him the other day. So it was a collective. It was an eclectic little bunch, a motley crew, if you would, of guys who kind of came together. And Mr. Brewer at running back. Who else we had? We had playing. You played quarterback for a little while. We had Zane Ivey out there.
Yeah.
We were good, bro. We were good. We were good. We had a couple dudes from the military too, and it was dope. It was dope, for definitely for being what it was, man. Like I said, I know the man that I was, and dealing with some of the situations that I was dealing with the mother of my children. God bless her. I needed an outlet, bro. I needed an outlet because I was gonna get myself in trouble. And the homie, remember we went to I think it was Heldon down there by Ardmore.
Man.
And I ran up on that dude.
Man, look here, man.
Threw my helmet up, man. So it's
man. Hey, that's my last story. I want to tell one more story before we get into the subject. All right, so look.
All right, let's do it.
You were going through what you was going through, man, with the mother of your kids, man. And I was like, Drake,
yes,
I said before the guys like, you straight? It's like, man, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Like I'm finna go out here and I'm finna try to kill somebody. Man.
I said it just like that. I remember that. I said it just like that.
Kills. I said, you might not want to play this game, bro. He said, nah, dog. I'm finna go out here and play.
Oh yeah.
No. Hey, they kicked that ball off, man. Hey, that boy grabbed that ball, dog. Hey, Dre, why you? The only thing I remember, dog, is you dove at him, bro. Your body was horizontal.
So I don't want to hijack the story. So this is what happened, right?
Yeah.
So they ran a draw play. Had this little running back dude. I think we found out later he was a cop or something like that. But they ran a draw play. And it was right up the middle. What's crazy is like as soon as they handed him the ball, me and dude made eye contact, and like the middle of the field just kind of opened up. It was so crazy. And we looked right at each other, man. And I came straight down that rail, right into the front room, bro. I did. I tried to jump through his chest, jump through his body, bro. I tried to I tried to take his head off with me. And I remember he kind of folded back because I saw it on video afterwards. You know, I didn't really know, but like I said, you know, it's a good thing that football is a constructive outlet for us young men who sometimes don't have any emotional intelligence. And at that time I definitely didn't. I was working on trying to you know, be the best dad I could be and all that. And I was a little frustrated, bro. And I'm not gonna lie to you. It did not necessarily take away all the frustration and pain that I felt that I was going through, but I felt a little bit better after rocking that dude. I ain't gonna even lie to you, bro. I ain't gonna even lie to you. That felt good, and it felt good to win the game.
Yeah,
You remember you remember Kool-Aid, right? The homie Jeff Howell.
Yeah.
I think because he scooped the ball up and ran it back for a touchdown. And we celebrated, man. I think I lost my mind because I remember, I don't even know if you remember this. I hit him in his face, Jeff, our teammate. I hit him in his face and blacked his eye, man, swole his eye shut. I don't even know if you remember that. I don't know. Listen to me, Eddie, man. I don't know what was wrong. I don't know what I was on that day. But I'm grateful for God and His grace, bro. And I'm also grateful for that didn't go, you know, sideways, man. That's it. Football is a great equalizer, bro. Great equalizer, especially for somebody, you know, my size, because it's a lot of dudes. It's a lot of dudes around that think that they're tough and think that they got it. But bro, when you put that equipment on, man, when you strap that stuff up, bro, and you get between the lines, bro, you can't talk your way out of that.
No.
You understand what I'm saying? A lot of people can talk about how they were this and about how they were that, but I'm from the show me state, family. You know what I'm saying? I'm from the show me state. I see better than I can hear. Show me what's up. And you know, I'm telling you, man, it was such an unbelievable just an unbelievably compelling time for me because I was around a bunch of dogs, bro.
Yeah.
We went places with, you know, 14, 15 people, and we're beating teams by 40 points and stuff like that. Some of them games when some of the homies couldn't make it. And you know, those 2 championships in 2005, going undefeated. We lost the one game in 2006, at the last game in Joplin, came back and beat them in the championship.
Right.
You know, those moments and those you know, those times are forever going to be for me as a football player. You know, my most fondest memories for sure. That and the time I got to play with Pops, but that's for another podcast, bro.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, man.
So real quick, you hit Kool-Aid in the eye. What was that?
I did, man. I did. You could call and fact check that. We were just celebrating because he, like I said, when I hit dude, he folded up, he dropped the ball. Kool-Aid scooped it and ran it out. It probably was about 65, 70, 75 yards.
Yeah.
Ran it back. And Eddie, I'm telling you, man, dude, I remember going over to the sideline. I took my helmet off, bro. I took my helmet off and threw it. And I was yelling, you remember that? Don't run up on me. You remember that?
Yeah,
baby, you know, it wasn't the homie's fault. You know what I mean? He didn't know what I was going through. He didn't know that I needed a hug that day. Okay. And like I said, you know, it was the perfect outlet, the perfect opportunity to kind of take some of that out. And you know, I think things got a little bit better after that. And I'm glad that I didn't take all that anger and frustration out, you know, in the mother of my kids' direction, man. I'm grateful that God offered up a sacrifice, and I took advantage of that. Yes, sir.
Hey, man, those are good times, man.
Definitely.
Athletically, man, you was that boy. I'm gonna leave it there. Everybody knows.
It.
You was that boy. You was that boy. Like I said, you was 6 foot above, we would be talking I really believe we would be talking a great NFL career, like straight up. And everybody knows.
Yeah, and I often think about that myself, and not necessarily having or really probably pursuing that. But when I look back on it, um, the guys that we played with, the camaraderie that we shared, the dudes in that locker room. I would imagine that most people watching this or when they hear this, man, they can tell that there's just this affinity, this affection that I have, and this pride that I carry with this logo, man, with this team. And guys like yourself, man, are right at the top of that list, bro. Right at the top of that list because we were something else, bro. I mean, and I mean that in every sense of the word. I played college football
Yep.
for about 10 years. I think I played semi-pro, and then there's another 10, 12, 13 years after that. I jumped off into the flag football thing. We did that together too.
Yep. I love.
Yeah, man, and it's all littered here and there with these crescendos, man. These moments of exceptional success, standout play, and all that good kind of stuff too, man. And just in the second act of my life, and I'm grateful for this too, because God's kind of moving me away from sports and athletics and taking me down a different path, bro. But I think that mentality, in some ways anyway, I think that mentality still is profitable for what it is that I do now with the kids and in education, bro.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
And hey, perfect segue into our discussion.
Yeah, you like how I did that, right?
I love how you did that, bro. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate
Yes,
you,
sir.
brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So what with that, what got you into the field of education?
Okay, so I mean, and again, we go right back. We go right back to my upbringing. From my dad and him having and being such a driving force, an influential force in my life, man. Shout out to Pops John Swanson, Sergeant First Class, retired. Man, I called Pops last weekend. I was writing a paper specifically about leadership, and the greatest leader that I've ever known. That was what came to mind. But he and I were having a conversation at one point. Again, I kind of alluded to that there were some difficulties that I was going through with the mother of my two boys, Drayon and Draylon, and I was trying to figure out a way to to spend more time with them. Man, I was working these jobs and rarely getting to see them and stuff like that. And I had to figure something out, man, because it was tearing me up inside. Living in a broken situation, or my boys kind of growing up in a broken home, and that was something that I really wanted to try to remedy, or at least alleviate some of that. The dysfunction and things that come from not having a dad around every day, all day, that I think that most young people go through. So me and Pops had a conversation, man, and I never will forget that he phrased it just like this too, man. You need to figure out a way where you can steal as much time with these boys as you can. And I used to do this deal where I would go up to the school when they were at Cleveland Elementary, man, and I would read books in the elementary school class. And
you did that too when you was doing it.
Yeah, and spending time up there, kind of just being around the kids and whatnot. I'm the oldest of 5, so I've always kind of had this take charge attitude and stuff like that in terms of dealing with younger people. And so it was almost really kind of organic, like a little natural progression for me, man, to jump off into education, really as a means, solely. The only reason that I started it was to be able to spend more time with Drayon and De'Andre Swanson, bro. If I'm being honest, that was the whole motivation behind it. Yes, sir. So I started substitute teaching. At the time, I think I was working, and this was pretty close to the end of the time. Our little rain, don't run from the rain, was kind of coming to an end, and it was time for me to get something else figured out. I had a pretty decent job working out on Fort Sill, was making a decent little chunk of change, man. During security out on those gates, and we ended up losing a contract for that. This was all around the same time, man. I put my bid in to try to get custody of these boys. I reached out to this fathers' rights group out in California. I represented myself in court. And went and got everything. I went and got everything that I asked for in terms of joint custody, visitation, lowered the child support down, all that type of stuff. And then we lost the contract out on Fort Sill, which kind of opened the door up for me to kind of, okay, well, you know what? I had this job where we were making all this money. We were going to take a pretty substantial pay cut. So then it was like, you know what? It's a no-brainer, man. I started substitute teaching. I went down and had a position as a crisis intervention specialist, right? A crisis intervention specialist at Douglas Elementary School. I remember I applied for that job. I went and interviewed, and man, they didn't even really let me lead the interview. It was like, we want to hire you, and I started. That was in the spring, March, right after spring break, 2008, bro. And I ain't looked back since. I haven't looked back since. I've been with law and public schools now for a good 16 years, man. 16 years strong. And concurrently, I've been working out on Fort Sill at the youth center out there for the past 10 years. I've always had two jobs, with the economy being what it is and whatnot. And go ahead.
No, I'm listening. No, I was just agreeing with you because I remember when you were doing these things. Especially when you started at the youth center. I remember that. I even remember you were working at the youth detention center, wasn't you?
Yeah, I was working at the juvenile detention center. Yeah, the Comanche County Regional Juvenile Detention Center. I did that. Yep. I worked at a couple of group homes too. Man, and I got stories on top of stories, bro. When we started talking about, because I was doing that too while we were playing football. They even let me at the group home bring a couple kids out to some games, and I appreciated that because they needed to see some positive male role models as well.
Right.
And man, that JDC, man, that was a beast. That was a monster, man. That was something different. But it really, I appreciate having the opportunity to kind of work down there because I got in touch with my my power voice, the assertive and the affirm side of who I am. You know what I mean? That was some crazy times down there too, bro. Shout out to the homie Ron, Big Ron. You remember Big Ron?
Oh,
Ron Hill? Yeah, man. Shout out to the homie Big Ron. We worked down there. The homie Marcus. Man, it'll come to me in a second. But man, Rucker, the homie Marcus Rucker. Yeah, man, it was a good time. Crazy time down there. Yeah.
Man, that's what's up, man. I remember, man, and like I say, again, trying to kind of follow behind your tutelage, man. I was like, you know what, man, I want to see what this is about, helping these kids, man. So you remember I got a job up there at the a little part-time
at JDC.
Yeah, I
remember that. It was you and one other other homies that came through. I don't really want to say his name because I don't want him feeling no type of way. But my the homie came down there. I do remember this. Yes, sir. What was your experience? Okay, here we go. What was your experience like down there? How did that work? Before I go off and finish the second half of this, go ahead, bro. Run it.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie to you. I got in there, man. I was like, this ain't for me, bro. I said,
exactly. It's man. Hey, listen, them environments are rough. So check this out, right?
Yeah.
I feel bad because I'm shooting this on my phone, and I wanted to do my little research, and I can't remember because the theorists who came up with this deal, man, there's this thing called the great man theory of leadership. You ever heard of that before?
I'm familiar. I'm a little familiar.
So basically this theory states that depending upon certain situations, right, certain factors and whatnot, that over time or throughout time, there have been great men who, because of the necessity for them to rise to the occasion, they come to the forefront and they step up and they become leaders. And a lot of times, man, the environments that you and I both come from, for sure, when you kind of get thrown in the fire, bro, you get thrown in the deep end of the pool, it's sink or swim. Right. So there's definitely a need, for us to kind of galvanize, for us to kind of, and figure it out on our own. Does that make sense? And Absolutely. Bro, and this will kind of tie in with what I feel like we're gonna talk about later, and my little theory of education and whatnot too. But nobody gonna give you nothing, man. You got to get out here and get it figured out for yourself, man. So, those were some tough times, some treacherous times, but there's a lot of self-discovery that comes in those situations. And a lot of times, bro, when you get through and you get to the other side of those things and you can kind of look back on some of that, you could laugh like we did today. So I'll be honest and say that I knew that wasn't it for you. I knew that wasn't it for you, but I appreciate you giving it a try. You know what I'm saying? Giving it a try.
I wasn't there mentally. I wasn't there. I wasn't developed. I still had an undeveloped brain at that age. I think I was in my early 20s. I think maybe 20. Yeah. So I still had an undeveloped brain, man. And
you ain't much farther behind me though. I don't think.
But back then I wasn't there, man. I was like, nah, this.
That's
one thing I remember walking out of it. I was like, shit, I tried, man.
Yeah. You get. Hey, listen, and listen. So this is something too. There's a lot of kind of old little axioms or what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of cliche things that we used to say back in the day that I think histrionics or whatever, like over time are kind of proven not to be true. And one of these things I think that we need, and as a coach, as a father, a role model, and a mentor, I'm gonna say this, and some people might find this to be controversial, but I think I happen to personally think that quitting is okay. And from this standpoint, you're not meant to do everything. So right. The way that you're trying or is that you're failing, and there's nothing wrong with attempting something and finding out that you're not good at it, bro. And people trying to force these round pegs or these square pegs into these round holes. It's not working for them. So why would you constantly get? And I do know, I have seen situations where parents have tried to push their kids into doing something because they think that this is what they want them to do, and so on and so forth, bro. And I think that there's nothing wrong with trying some things and getting it figured out kind of through trial and error, bro. So yeah,
right. I agree with you 100%, bro.
Yep. So 2008, I joined, I get hired as a crisis intervention specialist. I do that job up until 2018, I think it was. 2018, October, I stepped up and became a teacher. I taught computer applications at Lawton High School for 2 years. Now, this entire podcast can go way left, but I'm gonna stay professional. I'm gonna maintain my professional bearing because I feel like if I don't, then I'm gonna undermine the latter part of what it is that I want to talk about. But man, and it was I don't want to say necessarily that it was a mistake, but if I had to do all over again, and I don't know, I mean, God doesn't make any mistakes. We go through the things that we go through for a definite reason. But knowing what I endured personally, what my experience was, I probably would have left Lawton High alone, bro. I probably would have said, "Now you can keep it. I'm gonna stay over here." At Central, because at the time I was working with a gym. Rest in peace, Ken Stallworth Sr., my dude. He and I started a mentorship program at Central. I think that this would have probably been in the spring of 2017ish, somewhere around there, bro. And I was a head basketball coach at Central Middle School. He was my assistant sixth grade basketball coach. You know, much older gentleman than me. And I'll be honest with you, bro. You know, up until that time, outside of my dad, I had never really had anybody to mentor me. But he was when he and I met, it was instant, bro. It was instant. The synergy was there. We hit it off. We got along. We saw eye to eye on so many things. And I forget how we even came to discussing, like, you know, there's this need or this call for us to kind of step outside of ourselves and do something extra for these boys over here. Because we had so many young men, you know, who, and I don't want to throw this cliche out there either, but, you know, didn't have a father around or have positive male role models around. But also, man, so, you know, we stepped up and we formed a mentorship group, Young Men in Action, bro. And that changed my life, you know, diving off into that, having these meetings with these guys. We ended up, the culmination of that was one of the dopest things I think personally, that I've ever managed to achieve in my life, man. We took a group of kids. My youngest son, Draylon, is included in this group. And we took these guys to Memphis, man. We rented a van and drove down to Memphis, Tennessee, went to the Lorraine Museum, the Civil Rights Museum. And that was life altering.
I bet it was, bro.
Life altering, bro.
Draylon was a part of it?
Yeah. Not just for those kids, but for me also. To go down there and see some of that. Read up on some of the things that Dr. King was all about. So many other people were involved in the civil rights movement and stuff like that too. I mean, and to be able to share that moment and do that with a guy like Coach Stallworth, man, just made it all that much better, man. We stopped on the way back at the in Arkansas in Little Rock. I think there's a President Clinton has a library there or something like that, and we stopped there. We visited that place too. But it's such a beautiful thing. You know, our ideology or, our way of thinking is that, hey, listen, you know, young men, young people, just people in general, they'll do better if they know that it's possible. Right. So if you sit it in front of them, and you show them, how powerful their choices are. I say this all the time, in Passport to Manhood, a group that I do. I'm running another mentorship program, Vikings in Preparation. We call it VIP. And every single session, man, I talk to these kids about how important that the choices that they make are, man. And really, if you think about it, Eddie, we don't have any other power outside of our ability to choose and make choices, man. And our lives end up being the sum total of the choices that it is that we make. And so, you know, it's really dope to have that impact and to kind of be in a position that God saw fit to put me and Ken Stallworth and many other men too in that position, man, to be able to do that. So, and that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at right now. But yeah, man, Lawton High was a debacle, bro. that was bad in a lot of different ways. I actually started a mentorship program over there. It's called Gentlemen of Lawton High. We had that rocking and rolling. I think that program is still going as well. And there's enjoying some success over there. At least I hope they are. And man, that whole 2 years. That whole 2 years was very tumultuous, man. There was an ugly situation that transpired where I was supposed to get paid. I missed out on a $3,000 payday because of the negligence of some people, in my chain of command. And like I know that when you speak up and you have something to say about these types of things, and I hate to say it like this, but I'm on your podcast and I feel like I got a definite the ability to say it. When you look like we look, then you come across as angry. And unfortunately, that was the way that it was perceived until I got the opportunity to have some sit down meetings with some individuals, man, and kind of share my side of the story. Which they reluctantly really didn't even want to do that. But, glory to God, man, it all ended up working out. the homie Calvin Glasgow just so happened to get the head principalship over at Eisenhower Middle School, and and he reached back out. You remember Calvin because we played ball with him.
Yeah,
Flag football with him.
Yeah.
And you talk about freak athletes, bro. Freakish athlete. Him, Jason Sellers, a couple dudes out there, but yeah. He definitely looked out for me, man. Came back, reached his hand back, was like, listen, man, I got a position open for dean of students. You're gonna be handling discipline, and I think you perfect for this. And extended his hand out to me, man, and we ain't been looking back ever since, man.
Man, dude. See, that's what it's about, man. Like, I feel like, like you said, you used to say, man, like, mentorship and character. They're definitely like super important aspects of what you've done in your life, man.
Yeah, man.
You said something earlier, bro. I want to touch base on it.
Let's do it.
What we have control of, I think, as men, as young black men, especially, the only thing we do have control over is our choices and the decisions we make. How do you impute that into these young kids, man, 10, 11, 12, 13-year-old kids? I got a 12-year-old now, man. And that's exactly what I'm trying to get. I guess my question would be, how do you impute that into these kids, man? Like, I know it's an ongoing process for you, bro. I know.
Yeah, okay. So, I would like for you to allow me the grace here to say this, that, people by nature are pretty stupid, bro. I think, all of us are. So, think about this too. When we start, and we haven't gone down this avenue yet, but we can if you would like to. How many times does the Bible repeat itself? How many lessons, how many parables are there that basically kind of have and convey the same message? So you need to hear this time and time and time and time and time again. I need to hear it. I need to be reminded of that. So there's a curriculum and that I used to use. I've expounded upon it myself at this time, but the Boys and Girls Club of America had what they call the 6 pillars of character, bro. Trustworthiness, responsibility, fairness, caring, citizenship, and respect. So I preach all 6 of these character traits every single time I have a session. I actually, if I were to show you a picture of my office, bro, I got these up on the wall in my office. When the kids come in there, they look around that office and they see those 6 pillars. And I talk to them about it. And I preach these things. And listen, once again, it's not even necessarily that you preach it, that you talk about it, but you got to walk that walk too. So there is the need for the young people that I talk to, that I come into contact with, that my audio and my video match, bro, that they line up with each other. So I think that's one aspect of it. But we talk about and I try to come up with creative and catchy little ways to give little analogies here and there. I use this one when we talk about choice, right? Let's say me and you are in the supermarket, right? I'm up at the register. I got a cart full of groceries. I'm about to check out, right? I'll pull out my little money or whatnot. This probably back in the day. Everybody pay with cards now, but I got a little stack. I got a little wad of money with me and whatnot. A nice little crispy blue face fall out of my pocket, right?
You think?
And you see it, but I don't see it, right? Mm-hmm. You see this, but I don't know that I dropped this money. Now, at that particular time, you walk over, you pick the money up. So there's really only 2 things that you could do. Mm-hmm. You can either keep that or you can decide to give it back. And so what we do is we run through all 6 of these pillars, right? If you want to be a respectful individual, right, what would you do? You would get that money back because you understand, right, that it takes a little sweat equity. It takes some work to be able to earn that. If you want to be trustworthy, you would give that money back because it would speak to you being a trustworthy individual, somebody that people can count on, so on and so forth. So we use these little analogies and different things like that. But again, I and I'm really big on this. The kids need to see it reflected in me. The kids need to see me walking that walk, not just talking that talk. And so I think that that's something that, and again, that goes back to football, what we talked about earlier. That goes back to that work ethic, what we talked about earlier. Being genuine, being who you say you are, doing the things that you say you're going to do, all of that. And none of us is perfect, so I don't want to be up here like I'm tooting my own horn. But at the end of the day, I think that this stuff works, and it's effective. Because of the way that I teach it, but also because the kids can see it alive and living in me. Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense. Absolutely, man. That's a good take on that, man. Talk to me a little bit about the programs that you are and initiatives that you take part in now, man. What you got going on now in the systems as the dean of students here?
As the dean of students. Okay, so I'll talk a little bit about that, and then I'll talk a little bit about what it is that I'm doing now with the VIP group. As the dean of students, I've been placed in charge of handling discipline at the middle school. Excuse me. And when you think about Lawton, a lot of people have their own opinion about what Lawton is like. What Eisenhower and what Eisenhower Middle School is like, and all that grand stuff. But when I think of the word discipline, a lot of people associate discipline with punishment, right? But that's not actually what discipline is, and that's not how it really operates. Discipline means training. Okay, discipline means training. You get up in the morning, you go work out. After you get up. You get your spirit right first. You pray. You know what I'm saying? You get your workout in. You eat your breakfast, whatever it is that you need to do, and being able to find yourself in a routine constantly over and over again, and that training, okay, is discipline. Now, I'm a firm believer in this too. That after a certain period of time, you can start to lean into discipline, and it's almost like you can kind of find yourself on autopilot a little bit, because I know that at 5:30, when my alarm go off, I need to be up here at this school by 6. I need to have my little prayer going at 6:05. I got 30 minutes to get this sweat in, 20 minutes to go hit this track, and then I got to get back over here because I got to be at duty at 7:20. So, man, and again, if I'm going to be somebody who handles discipline, people need to see discipline at work in my life. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So, that's the first part of it. And because mentorship and because character have been so important in me, and when we start talking about the grand scheme or the bigger picture of education, education is designed, or it should be, effective education, good education also has character components in it. Does that make sense? There's not a whole lot of people that become highly educated that also have, really, really bad character, that are irreputable people. So it's important. It's important that you marry the two or merge the two, so that the education within you can be very effective. Does that make sense? And I'll touch back on that point here in a minute when I jump into my theory. But one of the things that I'm doing now, we call it VIP, Vikings in Preparation. And it's pretty much the mirror image of Young Men in Action at Central, Gentlemen of Lawton High, and out at the youth center, we called it Passport to Manhood. So these are all these groups that I've done at every place where I've worked at. We're about to start something new at the youth center called the Journey Program, and I think for the first time in my life, I'm gonna open these groups up to young ladies, because I definitely see that there's a need there as well. But what I'm trying to do at Eisenhower is get these young men to buy in and understand that character is important. And again, we do community service. We meet every other Thursday, where we talk about character. We talk about the power of choice. Your greatest power is your ability to choose. Then the following Thursday, we do a community service event around the school. We'll go out and clean the parking lot up. We'll pick trash up. We go into the auditorium and vacuum and sweep and clean. Go clean the gym up. All types of stuff. And I think that does several things. It teaches kids about community involvement. It teaches them to take accountability of their environment. And also, too, when you do that, they develop a different respect for the area where they go to school at. They take a little bit of pride in that. And so on so many different levels, man, I think it speaks to, again, we can change the culture and we can have an impact on our environment and our community, just by being good people, just by being good men. And a lot of times, man, young people just don't understand that. They don't have a concept of the impact that they have. And so they do anything. And a lot of times you're going to have an impact one way or another. And that impact, many oftentimes than not, man, is negative, bro. And I'm sick of that. I'm tired of seeing that. We've had some very ugly situations, man, that have occurred. There's been 10 homicides here in Lawton.
10 homicides.
Since January 1, we've had 10 homicides. The last two are involving a bunch of kids. I don't want to get too deep off into this, but the last two are involving about 6 or 7 kids, man, that I have either coached, taught, or had some kind of direct line communication or influence with. You know what I mean? And that's disheartening for me. It's epic. To me, I view it as an epidemic. I might be the only person, in the town or in the city that feels like that. But, through initiatives like Gentlemen of Lawton High, Young Men in Action, VIP, the Journey Program and Passport to Manhood, that's really kind of my way of combating some of this stuff, man, because I think it's desperately needed. And there are very few and far between, too many guys, trying to do that here in Lawton anyway.
I'm glad you said that, man, because I wanted to expound on something on that right there, what you just said. You kind of gave a solution as to how we can start to try to fix this, man. What's the age group? You said it was 10 homicides and the last couple of them included kids. What's the age group of those kids,
bro? And this is sad, right? This is sad. The oldest involved in all of this, like we're talking about victim, perpetrators and everything. The oldest person, I think, is 23, 24 years old. And I read it in the paper, man. They trying to get these boys life, and I think that they pled out so that they wouldn't get the death sentence, bro. So we're talking about a 23, 24-year-old young man. That was the same time that you and I were talking about when we were playing semi-pro football. And these guys don't have any outlets. They chose, they choose that gang life or that street life. And the youngest man, and this is very sad to say, is 15 years old, bro. 15. And I think 2 or 3 or 4 of these kids were all under the age of 18. They got classified as youthful offenders, and they're gonna all get tried as adults, bro. And it's sad. It's sad. And again, I could name names. I could see faces. It's had me in my feelings last weekend. I ain't gonna lie to you, because there's a part of this that I take personally. I feel like there's a stake that I have any guy who's ever coached, anybody I think who's ever taught or had any type of influence or any type of communication, contact, close quarters with young people, man. You want the best for them, and you want for them to make good choices and good decisions for themselves. And you hate to see young, especially because at 23, man, really you're still a baby, man.
I
in a lot of ways, you're still a baby. You're saying your brain wasn't developed. So and to know that, some of these guys, they may never see the light of day again, man, on the other side of a prison cell or the yard or whatever, man. That broke my heart, man. That took a toll on me because there's definitely times when you might have seen this or I might have seen it and tried to combat that and a couple of these dudes take cases that if they would be honest with you, man, I'd have stepped to a couple of these cats, man, before.
Well, I already know you.
You know what I'm saying? So definitely in a way that they need it though, and that was done in love. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, it's something that I think is desperately needed. And it's something that, you know, I can't really see myself changing, man. I'm gonna be preaching and talking about character, bro. And today put me in a box, man. I believe in that. I believe in it. We talked a little bit about kind of what happened with me, or you know, I characterized what happened and when I was working at Law 9, and this is what I will say. I don't believe that if I had not possessed the character, I wouldn't be where I'm at now. I think if I had let you know, my emotions get the better of me, if I had let my frustration get the better of me, if I had turned into the person that maybe even some of the people above me in the chain of command, and we talking all the way up the chain. If I had become, you know, the little angry black guy that they try to categorize you as, man, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now. It would be an impossibility, bro. So I'm definitely glad to have had the merger of character and the emphasis of character, but also too, man, the grace of God on my life, man. That's something that we can't deny, you or I.
Yep, and I want to say this, man. The one thing that I acknowledge about you early on in your life, and I took a page out of your book, was that you did a heck of a job, bro. This is the first time you're gonna hear me say this too, but you did a heck of a job making sure that them two boys didn't have to look and take this. Hey, this is gonna be a good one. You did a heck of a job of making sure that your two boys didn't have to look past your dinner table for an example of a role model.
Yeah, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate that,
bro. You know, I spent a lot of time with you, bro, when I was in Oklahoma.
I appreciate that. And I appreciate that.
That's one thing, bro. That's one page I took out of your book. I was like, man, this dude really, his kids don't have to look past the dinner table for a role model, bro.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you saying that, because that you know, that makes it all worth it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I think you know, I don't want to, you know, seem crass or alleviate the severity of what it is that we've been talking about, but I think that is and you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and jump into this, because I think the boys are good advertising. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, for somebody who tries to preach and who tries to talk and who tries to embody, you know, character and live out these values and all this other type of stuff, I think that I don't have to do a whole lot of talking, because again, you can see it in me and you can see it in my boys. Does that make sense? So and I think that there's definitely something there, and I want to give all glory, honor, praise, and credit to God for that. And my pops, man, still that time, man. Do what you need to do. There's still that time with them boys, and you pay me a huge compliment, because again, those two dudes, man, are the genesis of a lot of what's happening and what's going on in my life right now. And I'll add this, you know, Dre'On, shout out to Navy boy Dre out there in Virginia. I'm about to be a grandfather here pretty soon. He's made me a granddad.
Come on, man, little Dre'On.
Yeah, man, little baby Ophelia is coming. Yeah, Dre'On is about to have and shout out to Eileen, you know, his beautiful lady. He need to go on and wipe that up. We done had that conversation too. But
don't worry about it.
Yeah, but yeah, you know, Dre'On is one who kind of worries me a little bit, because he a little shoulder dude's a little bit of a loose cannon from time to time with that mouth, and he's super sarcastic, and I think he gets that from me for sure. And Draylon is a very quiet and reserved, almost I dare say kind of shy, and you know, it was one of the biggest pleasures of my life being his coach. The entire time he was in middle school, I got to coach him a couple years while he was in high school. And this is why that thing that occurred and happened over there at the school. And I try not to bring this up too much because I don't want to rehearse it and keep going over it. It was so ugly though, because that kind of drove a wedge between he and I. And again, you knew what I had to go through in order to get back in that position, in order to be able to spend that time with him and continue to cultivate and maybe even have that influence in his life. And there's a lot of guys who coach athletics, and I don't care what anybody says. I mean, look at Dion and his kids. There's nothing like coaching and having your kids, and you're their coach. The same was true for me and my dad. The same was true for me and Draylon. And when that situation happened, man, some things got really ugly. But this is the good part that comes out of that. And I don't know, maybe one day he'll go back and watch this podcast with me and the homie. The way that he handled himself after everything went down, he set an example for some grown men who cannot hold a candle to him as a man in terms of their character, in terms of their athleticism or anything like that. I think he set such a good example, and he represented that name, that Swanson name, man, so well. And again, it goes right in line with what you said, man. I just am so proud of my two boys. And again, they're not perfect men at all, but I think that they it's important to them to make me proud, which also not only makes me proud, but it makes my dad proud. And it's something that I think that they continue to pay forward because it's what they would expect, what dad would expect of them, man. So I appreciate that, bro. I appreciate that.
Oh, man. And I know them boys, man, like they look up to you, bro. I know they do, bro, for real. And that's to be quite honest with you, man, that's what I'm chasing. Honestly, man, I just want my kids to look up to me as well, man. I try my very best to make sure that CJ, and I got a lot of work to do, man. To make sure that CJ can look doesn't have to look past his dinner table, man. And
we all do. We all do.
Yeah,
we all do.
That page. I witnessed that with you.
Yeah, so not to cut you off, right? But the boys are 23. The boys are 23 and 20 now. And I'm sure that they would tell you that I get on their nerves because I'm always calling, texting, sending Bible scriptures and whatnot. Trying to continue to be a present force. So if there's any advice that I could give you, that is to figure out a way to steal that time. Ultimately, Eddie, I think the thing that separates the haves from the have-nots and those who have it from those who don't, again, is that discipline, but it's also that time that we spend pouring into our kids, the time that we spend sitting down, and a lot of it, they're gonna feel like, oh, you lecturing me all the time and you this and you that. Yeah, but you need to hear this because when you get out here on your own, my guy, I don't want you bumping your head up against this deal, because then guess what? You're gonna be coming back at me looking at, there's so many stories and so many situations where, there's these failure launch kind of kids, man, who can't get it right. Who become a burden on their, on their parents and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? So, and I don't want to say nothing crazy about anybody, but I'm the mission is to create self-sufficient, autonomous individuals, kids who can go out here and fend for themselves. And my boys have been able to do that again through the marriage or through the joining of character and education, man. Character and education, they both mean something. They
100%.
both mean something.
100%, bro.
Yes, sir.
Man, them boys, man, I tell you, man, I'm proud of them too, man. Draylon, man, I'm proud of y'all, man. If y'all never heard
that, I'm proud of them too. Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
I remember when them
That's
kids.
That's boy. I know where you're going.
Man, I can't believe it. 23 and 20, man. That's crazy, man.
20, man. 20 years old, man. Good looking dude. Everywhere we go, everywhere we go. Girls salivate over Draymond, man. It's crazy. And he's so self-conscious and so just wants to be and fly up underneath the radar, man. And I'm so in love with those guys, man, and the men that they have grown into and become. I just continue, I hope and pray that that these guys continue to work on developing, a relationship with the Lord, man, and also too that they just stay focused on whatever goals it is that they want and things that they want to achieve for themselves, man. Because I think sky's the limit for both of them dudes, man. I really do.
You did a good job, brother.
Yes, sir.
You set the foundation.
And listen, so are you. The thing is that you probably won't know until certain situations and whatnot arise. But while I'm at it, I want to say thank you to you and your beautiful wife, man, your kids for opening up our home a couple short months ago, bro. Yeah, when we kind of got in a bond coming back from NYC. And then I just appreciate that. It was beautiful to get a glimpse into what you're doing behind the scenes and how it is that you are taking the reins and you're a leader in your own household. And how you raising those two, and listen, if you would allow me this too, it takes a very big man, to step into the role and fill the shoes for another man, for a child that he did not father. And so, my hat, I tip my cap to you, bro, because that's that's something that I often have talked about that will be a challenge for me. You know what I mean? And the truth is that I'm doing that I feel like on a different, maybe even a bigger scale. But man, it just goes to say, or goes without saying, man, just how much those boys gravitate to you, CJ, right? And just how much I think how fond he is of you, man. So that speaks a great deal to the job that you're doing, man. So don't feel like you're not getting that mission accomplished, family.
Hey, that's CJ's my guy, man, and it for me it was a lot easier for me because I had a stepfather who played a huge role in my life as a man. So I felt like, shoot, I owe it back. My stepfather did it for me, so I owe it to this young fella not to fail him in that area of helping him become the man he needs to be.
100%.
He didn't ask. He didn't ask for a stepfather. You know what I'm saying? But I owe it to him to give him every opportunity to get the love from a stepfather like you're supposed to, man. So
I would say that he couldn't have found a better one, bro. Why your wife could not have picked a better man to join to unify with. And I think that you do a fabulous job with both of those kids, man. Both of them, man. Your little dude, he a handful too, man. He's hilarious, dog. He was fun to be around, that's for sure.
That's his daddy's son, boy. That boy,
yes, sir. Man. Yes, sir. That little shoulder deal.
Shoulder deal, man.
Shoulder deal. Yes, sir.
So we gonna jump into I got a little segment in the show, man, where I do a little trivia. I got a few questions for you, man. I want you to try your best to answer them to the best of your abilities.
Ooh.
All right,
let's get it.
Yeah. First question is this, and look, don't be biased. Tell the truth. Tell the truth on every single one of these questions. All right.
Okay. All right, I got you.
All right. Who you starting at corner? This is a team of former Rebels. Who are you starting at cornerback? And why?
Cornerback.
Yeah, you got two starting corners. You got the left one and the right one.
Okay.
And keep in mind.
So I get two picks.
You get two choices.
Okay.
You got Rich Schroning, White boy Rich.
White boy Richie. You seen him lately, man? That cat rocked up, looking crazy.
You see him now? Now this back then though.
But listen, but he not starting because he didn't look like that back then. So we'll go to the next choice.
Nah, but Rich was all right back then, man.
He wasn't bad. He wasn't bad.
Rich. We got Mon out. We got Drip. We got Drip.
Okay.
We got Zoe.
Horn.
And we got me. Who's starting and who back up?
Okay. So this is this.
And I'm
I
gonna
feel
tell you
like
my
you.
starting five.
I feel like you left the homie Zedric Ford off the list. You remember Ford? Zedric Ford. You left Ford off the list. So and I kind of it would be almost impossible. It would be blasphemous for him not to start at one side. Now, my heart wants to start Eddie Shaw on this other side because I'm on your podcast, and it would be blasphemous for me not to start you. You know what? I probably would give you and Ford the nod, right?
Right.
I would give you and Ford the nod, with Zoe being a close second. But this the thing. In terms of ability and in terms of playing, I think you and Zoe are neck and neck. Since you said be honest, I think this is where Zoe get everybody at. Bro, was Alonzo Horn not the funniest, craziest football player you ever like? That was a bad play call. Singing like in the middle, like we running dudes down, finna make a tackle, and he's singing songs.
No,
like I never experienced that, and he always he kept the locker room lighthearted. The don't run from the rain thing, that was all him. So Zoe definitely has a special place here.
Yeah, man.
A special player, but he could ball too. He was that dude too. So I speak his praises. But you know what? For the sake of what we doing today, I got Eddie Shaw over here, and I got Zedric Ford over. I can't even believe you forgot about Ford, bro.
Hey, but look,
I can't believe you. Ford was a dog.
He was a dog. Hey, bro.
Dog.
He definitely starting. He's starting.
Dog.
I'm gonna tell you who my starters are.
All right, do it. Let's do it.
Zedric Ford definitely starting. Zoe got to be at the other corner. No question. Hey, dog. Not only was Zoe funny, but Zoe was. He
was talented, bro. He was talented. Them roses really smell like boo boo boo. Hey, you remember we being like man Zoe. Shouts to Alonzo Horn, Zozilla. Like my easily in any sport, anywhere I've ever been, probably my favorite teammate of all time, bro. All time. Man. That cat was hilarious. And it's just of the fact that he just kept you laughing. Man, but at the end of the day, man, when it was time to strap it up and time to get serious, man, he was like so, man. He was like so. I got his son at the school with me, man. That's dope.
What?
That's dope.
Yep. Hey, Drip got to be nickel too. I'm putting Drip at nickel, man.
Drip's up there too. And you know, mom wasn't a slouch either, man. And Mana come up. Mana dropped that wood on you, fam. So
mom was a dog, but hey, Mana fight you too, man. Mom was always fighting at the games, man.
100%.
Hey, shout out to Mom. That's my dog, man.
Shout out to the homie Mom.
Mom put a lot of game on me, man, at that corner position.
Shout to the homie Mom, Mon Allen. Yes, sir.
All right.
What we got next? Let's go. I like this. I like this game.
That's the first question. All right, look. Here go the second question right here, man. Second question. So give me your top 5 safeties. Let me give you a time frame because it's a very broad time frame.
We talking about NFL?
Huh? NFL.
Okay, NFL. Okay, I mean, I just give you 5. I can give you all time 5 or whatever you need.
Top 5.
Okay, so check this out. I'm gonna just go with the ones that I like. Okay, so we got Ronnie Lott, Steve Atwater. Okay, so that's 2 kind of like old school. Anytime you willing to cut your finger off, bro, you're not to be messed with. You're not to be messed with. And Steve Atwater was like, you know, And and he had, back then that's the era of football that I kind of came up playing and whatnot. So having bad intentions and all that was none of this targeting stuff. You done seen me plenty of times come back playing wide receiver, or I catch somebody just standing around. We pursuing the ball behind the ball. You ain't paying no attention, bro.
Right.
You finna catch it. So Ronnie Lott, Steve Atwater, and check this out. Ed Reed.
Ed Reed, gotta
love Ed Reed. I love Sean Taylor too. And I hate that his career got cut short. And whatnot, man. Because I think that dude was finna be, he was gonna be something. He was something that, man, unbelievable. Troy Polamalu, man, too. I feel like I gravitate a little bit toward him because I felt like maybe he's a little bit more undersized, I think, than most guys were. But he was vicious, bro. He was vicious. And shout to the Samoa homies, man. There's a couple dudes I played ball with way back when I was living in Germany, Tofa and Vanu. It's a couple of little Samoan kids that I've coached, and man, hey, listen, man. They represent well for the culture, bro. They represent their people well. They some dogs, fearless individuals, man. I love it. So Ronnie Lott, Steve Atwater, Polamalu, Ed Reed, and we'll throw Sean Taylor in there.
Sean Taylor, top 5. Okay.
Top 5.
That's not a bad list.
That ain't bad. You could, Rod Woodson is out there. I'm trying to think who else I might be forgetting about. And you know what? It would be difficult for me to even name 5 safeties that are playing professional football right now because I don't even really watch it, bro.
I do. These cats today are more of like, I don't know, they're more like hybrid safeties, man. I think Cam Chancellor, Earl Thomas, those were some of the last. You got that boy in Atlanta now. That's what's his name? They got the young kid in Atlanta. He one of the best safeties in the league. Him and Justin Simmons. They some of your top safeties in the league now. But you can't even hit nobody no more, man. You can't even really make them type plays no more.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I felt like was it the USC game? I think USC was playing. Who were they? LSU or something like that. Yeah. And the kid got a target. Like. That never would have been called targeting back when when I was playing college football, when we were playing semi-pro ball. That call would never have been, you know what I mean? And really, what can you do? How could you have hit him any different? And so I understand why they're trying to legislate and get that stuff out of the game, especially with some of the things that are. But bro, I mean, like the homie who got hit jumped up and spun the ball and was like, so I mean, we at some point, man, we got to get back to a little bit of that. We don't want to do the Neanderthalic type of stuff, but I just think times is different, bro. Times are different. Yeah, that's for sure.
Buda Baker is my favorite safety that's playing today. I don't know if you like Buda Baker. Yeah, matter of fact, Buda Baker, he's an undersized safety. He's like 5'9", maybe.
He was in Arizona, right? I felt like Arizona for a little bit.
Yeah. Hey,
and,
bro,
what's the homie that dates Simone Biles, man? Played for Chicago.
He played for the Packers, don't he? Yeah.
Nah, he played for Chicago.
He played for the Bears. I can't remember. He all right. I mean, he ain't. He all right.
He all right. He bad. Like I said, I couldn't name 5 safeties, active current safeties in the league, bro. Because I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm on a different wave than most people. These days, man, I don't even watch a whole lot of sports. I don't. Yeah. And especially since I started this class, bro. This right here, this is what be eating me up.
Higher learning, baby. Don't worry. Hey, real quick, let me shout out to Rayvon. Rayvon chimed in. He had a comment he put on there, man. Shout out to Rayvon, man.
Shout out to Rayvon Stevenson.
Yeah, Rayvon Stevenson. Yeah, I ain't gonna let me forget you caught that pass in OT. Rayvon the dog too now.
And listen. I want to say this. I want to give Rayvon these flowers while he on here because I feel like this Eddie, and I'm telling you, it's not coincidental that the homie chimed in that he came on, because Rayvon and I had the opportunity to coach. This would have been like 2021, 2020, something like that. And it was some people. I'm telling you, bro, I was going through something super ugly. They weren't gonna give me a job, no none of that. And they made sure that didn't happen. They made sure. And I went out, and I want to give Rayvon these flowers, man, because I went out yesterday out to Cash. I drove the Eisenhower kids out there, the football team. I'm not even coaching anymore. I sat up in the press box and I wrote this paper right over here. And but I was watching it in between, man. Rayvon has these kids out here playing, and I think just his knowledge, the intricacy, the little nuances of what he understands and how he understands the game of football is something that I don't think a lot of people will give him credit for, because there's a lot of haters running around in Lawton, and in particular, there's a lot of people who naysayers that feel this way, or feel, you know what, Rayvon would have been a really, really good addition on this squad right here.
Oh, you bet your life he would.
If we'd had him, if he was a little bit older, man, we'd have had him around back during that time. But I can't say enough. I can't say enough that how impressed I was with the way that the Central Cougars played football yesterday, man. Especially defensively, the way they rallied around the ball. He got some skilled kids that you can tell that he's working on. With the quarterback, we're talking about ball placement. We're talking about high point in the football. All these little bitty nuanced things that a coach would see and kind of notice. I can tell Rayvon is not missing any of them details, man. So somebody need to give him them flowers, bro. And I'm that dude. Rayvon, I'm gonna sing your praises for forever, bro. Keep doing what you're doing. My dude got his own gym. He out here training the kids. Stepping up to the plate, man. Stepping up to the plate. The folks out in Elgin don't want to hear it either, but he said he trained half of that team out there too. They came down there and thumped Mac. Yeah. And we know why that is. We know why it is.
Hey, me and Rayvon had a lot of me and Rayvon, man. That's my dog, man. That's my dog. Shout out to you,
Rayvon. Shout out to Rayvon Stevens. Keep doing what you're doing, man. Keep doing what you're doing, bro.
Shout out to my boy Freddie Burks. He chimed in.
Okay, yeah. Tell Freddie to keep his shirt on, man. Tell Fred to keep his shirt on.
Fredo, man. Get off
keep your shirt on. Fred, Fred the only dude. Look, Fred the only dude. As soon as he come around, I get insecure. He the only one that make me feel insecure, bro.
Hey, that's my dog. Fred had talent too, though, bro.
He was out there with us playing flag football too for a little bit. Is he Eisenhower guy too though?
I think so. Yeah.
He I do that thing.
Yeah. Hey, guess who else chimed in, Drake? Coach Tony, man.
Oh yeah, and look, Coach Anders. Hey, listen, man. Without a doubt, during Tony Anders will forever have and garner the utmost respect from me. I think that we could not have found, when you talk about what it means to be a rebel, I think that he embodies that. I think that he I think that he was the perfect coach to come on. Man, especially like you remember all the little stuff we was going through with the homie from Wichita, Kansas, and coming down and selling these tickets and all that.
Yep.
And then I'm not even going to mention the other guy who was coaching, who called himself the head coach, for us for a little bit, before he got up out of there. It's not about making people look bad or look crazy, man. But I just think he fit that mentality. Attitude reflects leadership. And Coach Anders was able to galvanize a group of crazy, rabid, we could not wait to play football. And I'm telling you, man, just being around and just thinking about hearing his voice. I saw him yesterday too. Man, tell me, dude, don't got the perfect voice to be a football. I can't even emulate that. Man, it was such a yeah. And he was a dog. He had that mentality. He fit the mold perfectly. The way he carried himself, man. Shouts to coach. Up there, top 2, top 3 football coaches for me for sure, ever.
For sure, man.
Ever.
Tony, man,
top 2, top 3.
Dog, Tony. I tell you what. Speaking from my experience, he knew how to get the best out of everybody, no matter your talent.
Again, that's what a leader's supposed to do.
No matter your talent, bro. He knew, like, if he seen you slacking in practice, he gonna bust you. He gonna get on you, bro. Like, what? Like, he gonna get on you. Not only get on you, but he gonna let you know, bro. Like you better than that. What are you doing, bro? Like, I was at the bottom of the list.
So
Tony, like, one of the better ones out here. You just don't know it yet.
Yeah. And it takes a special person, number one, to recognize that, but also, draw that out of you. And I think that's what he was. When people think about semi-pro football, you don't think about, a lot of people don't take it very serious. It doesn't necessarily garner a lot of consideration. But man, I'm telling you, for sure, those 2 years, 2005 and 2006, man, you could have put those groups up there I'm talking about from the top of that organization down to the bottom, bro. A lot of people could have learned a lot from what we were doing, what we were able to accomplish, and having Tony Anders spearheading that, man, at the top of that, man, it wasn't no mistake. It was no coincidence, bro. Was no coincidence. And I absolutely adore dude and his character and all that, the way he carried himself. He's a true rebel, man. True rebel. Love you, coach.
Hey, I knew coach was real. I knew he was real when he tore his knee up. Came out, they told him not to coach. That man came out to the game, coached, almost got into a fight with a tore up knee, dog. You remember that?
I do. And I could add a couple extra layers on top of that because he was coaching elementary school kids. Corner stuff around here, man, and he had to get saucy with a couple of folks. So I know he still got it in him too, man. So that attitude reflect leadership, bro. You can't instill anything in people that you yourself don't have. And I'm telling you, that mentality that we are not here to play any games. We're here to kill everything moving. I love that. I love that. And whether that was the right or wrong way to look at it, you can't argue with the results.
Nah.
2 CFL championships, 2 CFL MVPs, the minor league football Hall of Fame in 2014. I know him and Garvin Brown.
Man,
I mean, a match made in heaven, bro. A coaching match made in heaven.
Shout out to Garvin Brown, man.
Shout out to Garvin Brown. Shout out to the homie Garvin Brown running the Oklahoma Blood Institute. And then when we start talking, think about all these dudes, right? At the top, at the pinnacle of our organization, or when we were playing football, and think about what these guys are doing now. I don't necessarily know what Coach Tony is doing, but Carvin, for a long time, him and his wife were running the Oklahoma Blood Institute. He got a promotion. I think they moved away, something like that. I bumped into Ricky Herbert. Shout out to Ricky Herbert yesterday. Yeah. He's coaching over at the middle school and the high school over at Eisenhower. So all these different guys have gone on and are doing something in leadership positions, bro. And I think that really speaks to just how good we had it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I can't believe I'm about to have a brain fart. But the offensive line coach, young dude, I forgot his name.
Charles Gustav.
Yeah,
Gustav.
yeah.
Goose, man. Coach Goose. I can't even believe. Look, and his name was in my. I just didn't say it. Shout out to Coach Goose. Gustav. He's in the military now.
Around, man. X's and O's. He knew it. Straight up.
He knew it. That 4-2-5 defense we ran, all those different stunts and blitzes. I hate to say it like this, but it's a bunch of Eisenhower dudes, and that was they direct competition. They the ops rivals or whatnot. But man, they really good at what they do. Very, very knowledgeable at what they did too, man. Man, I'm telling you, 2005 and 2006, Eddie Shaw,
bro.
Football wise, it was like heaven, bro. It was like heaven. I could not wait. I could not wait for Saturday at 7:00 to. You remember this? We used to shoot a 5-hour energy and eat a Snickers, right before we take that little drive out there, out to Cash, get ready to play, man. And I'm telling you, bro, man, most special times of my life, man. Special times of my life.
You know what I regret? I got one regret, bro.
What's that?
I regret that I didn't get to see, because I used to hear so much about. Shout out to Derek Camacho, dog. I used to hear Mach was that guy, and I didn't get to see it because when I came, Macho was hurt. His hamstrings were bad. Or something.
Yeah. He had that hamstring. I think that hamstring still bothering him. He be trying to run marathons and stuff like that now. But man, shout to his son Brennan. In 2015. The Rhinos, we went down. We're the only team in Oklahoma to ever go to Dallas and win the Night Bowl.
Wow.
The Rhinos. So I was a part of that team. Zach Ainge, Jesse Keith. Man, we had some dogs on that team too. But anyway, getting back to what you were saying, just being around the guys, man, just being around the fellas, man, I miss that so much, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Macho, man.
I miss that so much. And come on, and Derek is one of them dudes. Between me and you, you said something about mine, but Derek was the one that was always trying to fight people. And he did not care at all.
Yo,
at all. It was whatever.
Let me tell you a story about Macho. How I know he was that guy. Hey, all right. We used to go, hey, Macho, shout out to Macho, because Macho saved me one night from getting messed up real bad.
Okay, so I want to hear this.
Yo, we went to this club, right? We used to go to this club on what's that road out there? I want to say out there in this 67, Lee Boulevard in 67, bro.
Man, you talking about scooters, bro?
Nah, what scooters? It was a club out there out by Lee and 60. Yeah, by Lee and 67. They was only in existence for like 2 years, but it was popping when it was out there. One of his homeboys, big swole dude. They was known when you got kicked out of their club. Oh, you was getting messed up. If you got kicked out there, if you disrupted the money, you getting beat up, right? So hey, look, he was a cool dude too. He used to work out at the gym I worked out at. But him and his staff, when they kicked you out, boy, foot, boot, and all. So I got real toe up. Me, Jesse, Tristan, all was out there. I got toe up, bro. And I forgot why I got kicked out the club, bro. But they kicked me out the club.
First of all, I can't even imagine you getting toe up like that. I don't think I ever seen that, but go ahead.
Yeah, I didn't usually do it, but for some reason this night we had a blast, bro. So I got kicked out the club, right? So they surrounded me, right? I didn't know what was going on until after Camacho told me. I see these dudes surrounding me, right? Hey, Camacho came out there, was like, hey, nah, bro. Like, hold on. I know this dude. Come on, man. Don't do that. I seen him like kind of leaning over, talking to big dude because he was about to swell me up. And then Macho was like, nah, man, don't do that, bro. Like, I know him. He cool, man. He ain't even, man, look, he don't know, man. Hey, Macho was like, nigga, you about to swell you up, bro. Macho saved me from getting my butt whooped, bro. I owe that. I owe you, Mach.
Yeah, I feel like the opposite. I feel like Camacho was about to get me or get us in a whole bunch of fights. Because I don't know if you, because I remember this like it was yesterday. It was we went to Wichita, Kansas. Zedric jumped the slant and went like 99 yards for a touchdown. We ended up beating them. This was all after that little that thing about selling the tickets and whatnot. Camacho and Alonzo. You remember? I don't even want to get these dudes no oxygen. I don't want to say his name, but the general manager of the team we were playing, the Aztecs, and his brother came out there after we beat them, and got upset. And Derek and Alonzo was ready to fight everybody in Wichita, Kansas, bro. I don't even know if you remember this. The dudes ran back to the parking lot. And was finna, and man, listen, and this is probably why they don't take semi-pro that serious, because it wasn't finna be no swelling, man. It was finna be some rounds flying somewhere or something like that.
You say so, yeah.
But again, that's kind of like a double-edged sword, because you want to be with dudes that are fearless. You know what I'm saying? You want them guys. Like if I'm walking down the alley. If I'm in the trenches, if I'm in the foxhole, do I want to be? And listen, you could go across the board, and this is what was really dope about this team, because not a lot of people, I don't think, feel like they have this. And you could check the box on everybody that wore that uniform, bro.
Yeah, man.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody was with it. Everybody wanted to smoke. Everybody. And I'm telling you, for them 2 years, I just still to this day, man, I haven't really been around an environment or been a part of it. Even the teams that I've coached, I've been able to capture a little bit of that here and there, man. But I'm telling you, man, this was special. This was special.
Yeah, man.
This was special, bro.
Watching AJ Lewis, Camacho, them dudes at linebacker, man. But you want to know who I looked at? I was like, man, this dude, he's smooth. The game looks so easy to him, bro. Like Jesse Yoder, bro. Shout out to Jesse Yoder.
Oh, yeah,
bro,
J-Y, man. No doubt. Number 4 game.
Bro,
Number 4 game.
That white dude was cold, bro. The game looked easy to JY, yo. It didn't look like he was never trying hard, bro.
I wouldn't disagree. JY, the biggest compliment I think I could pay JY is the kind of husband and man and father and everything that he is now, man. I have just so much respect for him. We had, me and him had a little incident. You might have been playing flag football with us when this happened, because we kind of got into it a little bit, and it was dope. It was funny because I think it's one of them things where you try to check somebody, and the somebody you trying to check end up kind of checking you a little bit, and it wasn't like no little bro stuff or nothing like that. It was like, hey man, we better than this, my dude. And I think that because of the mutual respect that we shared, we were kind of able to talk and get past that. But yeah, man, them little flag football games used to get ignorant, bro, out in the parking lot with Steve and John man, come on, bro. Come on. We can talk football all day. We can talk football all day.
Already know, man.
All day. Man, shout out to the homie Jesse Yoder though, man, and his family. I love seeing I see him around here and there and whatnot, man. And it's always just mutual respect and love, man. 100%.
For sure, man.
Yes, sir.
I got my last trivia question, man.
All right.
If you had to pick, man, let me ask you this. Well, what you doing right now? If you had to pick, what would be your next, like, are you trying to do, like, I know you're going back to get your master's, but are you trying to do, like, stay in crisis intervention, or are you trying to do
okay? So to answer that question directly, I'm a school administrator now, so that I don't have the same training, necessarily the credentials or anything like that as what a principal has. I've been delegated the ability and the authority to handle discipline. I can send kids home quote unquote, we don't even call it suspension anymore. We call it a virtual placement because kids can go to school on their computers and stuff now. But I can do that. I send kids to ISD. I run an ISD program. We've hired this fabulous lady, man, Miss Brody, man, our new ISD supervisor. She's actually pretty cool, and I'm hoping that she and I can share a long tenure together because I feel like I love the way she handles herself. I love the way she handles the kids and stuff like that. So technically, I'm already really an administrator. Okay, so I already wear that hat. The degree, the master's degree in ed leadership, will allow for me to be able to become a principal or gain a principalship. So, I would imagine that if the opportunity presented itself, I would open up as an assistant principal somewhere, and then maybe on down the line somewhere be able to move into being a head principal. I'll be quite honest with you though, we be careful about what we speak because we don't want to speak it into existence or whatever, man. But I can't see myself unless I got this degree and the job opened up at Eisenhower Middle School, bro. I don't ever want to go anywhere or work anywhere else other than Eisenhower Middle School. I'm that in love with the kids there, the west side of town, especially with the way things have kind of unfolded in my life since 2020. The people that I work with, the admin team, the teachers, just the entire environment, bro. Hopefully, I ain't going anywhere. So, I can get the degree, and whatever little bump in pay that comes with that, it'd be nice. But if I get that opportunity to move up and become a principal and be a principal at Eisenhower Middle School one day, I think that's the direction that I'm going in, bro. Yep, man. Or let me say this, because wifey kind of been on me a little bit, and I know we've been on here for quite some time, but I have been looking. Okay, I have been looking at a couple of jobs over in Japan, bro. There's some DoD schools. And they need and they need principals over there. And I in Okinawa, and a couple of one in Kyoto, not Kyoto. There's not a base there, I don't think. If I get the opportunity, I don't know if you ever been to Japan, but I got to go there last Christmas. Yeah, and I fell in love with that place. The order and the structure, the way that they carry themselves. I'm talking about from the top down, old to young to old. Just the way that people carry themselves over there is different, bro. And it's hard not to leave that place and for that not to have had an impact on you, especially the way that I was kind of brought up. So I'm not gonna lie, I'll apply for a couple of these jobs after I get this master's, and if anybody want to bring your boy on, I'll be gone, but that'll be it, man. So it's either Japan or Eisenhower Middle School, bro.
Come on, man. It. Hey, I remember when you and Dexter went over there, man. How long did y'all stayed over there? 2 weeks, right? 2 weeks,
bro. 2 weeks.
Would you go back?
I would leave tomorrow. I'm telling Eddie, if I could sustain being over there, if I had a revenue stream or had a job or I can make a living, man, I would leave tomorrow and go back over there. That's how the culture of respect and politeness. Again, these are things that I try to instill in kids and adults and people around me all the time, bro. So it's like, to go to a place where that is the norm, where that's what's expected, I was blown away by just how orderly, how clean the place is, how respectful the people are. Check this out. Even the ones that don't mess with you, you know what I mean? Like, there's definitely some folks you can tell, you know what I mean? I don't know how many black people they used to seeing, but me and Debbie went to a couple of places for sure that there's not a lot of us, you know what I mean? Man, it's still just the culture of respect, just the way that they carry themselves, bro. I'm telling you, the silence on the train, the sitting down, the bowing, the putting others first, man. I loved it, bro. Loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it. And then I got to see my boy over there. Got to see Dreon over there. We went to go see Godzilla -1 in Shinjuku at a theater where God, man, I'm telling you, bro, I could go on and on all day about that experience too. And listen, so before we close, I know we're getting a little long. I want to attribute that, to my education. I want to attribute the ability to do some of these things. First I want to give a shout out to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Me and you talked about this all the time.
Absolutely.
and sharing our faith. Number one, and then number two, also, man, it just goes without saying that how important education has been in my life. And how I view education. We didn't get to touch on this, but I think this might be a good opportunity to close because I don't want to. I can make this thing 3 hours if you want, bro. But education is man. Education has been such a huge and monumental part of my life, and I would like to encourage anybody who manages to make it through these last 2 hours and see this portion of your podcast, man, and what we've done here, to buy in to education because the payoff is worth it. I look at education as being a defense mechanism, a weapon, in a lot of different cases, especially for people of color, man. Because again, I went through some things that I don't think I should have had to have gone through it, but I think that without the character piece, the ability to kind of stand on your merit and be who you say you are, but also the ability to be well spoken, to be well written, to be able to go in certain environments and conduct yourself a certain type of way, but also to be able to communicate, man. I think, and have the emotional intelligence, have the wherewithal, have the articulation to be able to communicate and get your point across. I think it's something that young people of color are sorely missing out on. So I try to promote and definitely champion education, man. As if nothing else, if you don't even want to buy into it, you don't want to have nothing to do with school. You need to do it for these two reasons, because it's a huge defense mechanism. Okay, it's a huge defense mechanism, and you can turn around and use your knowledge, man, and your abilities through your education, man, as a weapon. And there's going to be plenty of people that try to keep you from things, to keep you out of really the realization of your own destiny. And I think education, number one, it qualifies us. And allows us to gain entry into certain places where people try to keep you out, but you check every last one of these boxes, so you can't keep me from here. And I just think that it's something that so many young people are kind of taking for granted, shunning or overlooking the importance of having a quality education and buying into education, man. And as somebody of color, I get to speak on this because I got the access code. And that is, young people, man. If find something that you like, because education is going to be applicable to any situation. And there's trade schools. There's all different types of alternatives and stuff like that, man. But find something that you like to do, man, and dig in and hone in and get focused on it, man. Because education is a huge, huge advantage that not very many people are taking advantage of.
Dude, I 100% agree with you, bro. What would you say to these groups or group of people who think that education is a waste of time? Like, there are some people out there that think that attending these higher learning institutions or just colleges in general not only is a waste of time, but it's a waste of money, because by the time you finish, you're in 80 to 85% of people who go to college end and finish college in debt.
Yeah, so definitely, and I'm struggling with that now, because a part of the motivation for me to go back was that there's been some grant money and some other things that have been offered in order for me to go and achieve this higher education. So, at a nominal cost or whatever, but I don't think it's going to end up panning out and being like that. So again, there are a myriad of alternatives to actually going to college, bro. There's trade school. You can go become a plumber, work HVAC. There's all sorts of things, electrician, a carpenter, and these people making bread. And I think that there are so many other ways in which you could be a mechanic. There's all types of stuff that kids can do, and different ways that you can find something that you really like and that you really enjoy doing that will be lucrative, and that will sustain you throughout the remainder of your life, man. And again, there's got to be some discipline applied to that.
I agree.
There's got to be some hard work ethic and all that other type of stuff too. But and there's so many, you can apply for grants and scholarships. There's all types of stuff that, a lot of people probably don't necessarily know. My people perish for the lack of knowledge, man. So having an understanding and being able to go out and search these things, there's all types of stuff out here, man, that people could be utilizing in different avenues you could be going down. Because I'm with that too. That's hustling backwards to me, bro. I'm not trying to go to school and get out owing more money than the job is gonna pay me. You see what I'm saying? So I got you there too. But again, there's so many different ways and so many different avenues that you can go and get a trade, or you can go and do this job or work in this field over here, XYZ, man, and still make it out and be doing pretty good.
I agree with you 100%, man. And my answer to that, when they asked me that question, or when they said that statement, my exact answer was, look, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. College to me was, man, it taught me how to be very broad and well-rounded in accounting, in my everyday, in everyday life, man. Accounting, like it just well-rounded me, bro. I'm well-versed. I can step into any environment, any situation, and adjust to it, all based on what I learned from college. Good and bad experiences, man. Look,
100%.
The fact is that I went to school, I got put on academic probation. They was about to suspend me, and it taught me, look, hey, if I get kicked out of this school, I ain't got nowhere else to go. I can't go back home because ain't nothing back there for me. So what did it teach me to do? Well, dude, first of all, you're gonna finish what you started. You're gonna basically learn how to prioritize your time. This education, this school is more important than anything you got going on right now. So learn how to prioritize your time, put this school as a priority, everything else will come. And I'm seeing the direct results of it right now.
100%. 100%. You live in a very nice, lovely home. You have a very beautiful wife and two lovely young sons. And I can attest to that. At the end of the day, bro, what do we go to school for? What do we go to college for? We go to get this degree, we get this piece of paper, and this piece of paper helps us get these other pieces of paper. Does that make sense? And we can attribute a lot of different things to why there seem to be so many, in particular, maybe even so many young people of color who their switch and their drive for education is just turned off, flipped completely off. And that's scary. That's a scary concept to think about. But ultimately, man, there's so many other cases where you see all these other people who have gone on to achieve higher education, who have gone on to get a trade, and they're making a decent living for themselves. And again, for us, for young people of color in particular, it's my job as a coach, as a mentor, as a dean, to set these people in front of you, and also be that example as well, to pay this forward, to show you that these things are possible. Okay, if you are willing to put the work in and go and be driven enough to go achieve these things for yourself, man. Because again, and this goes back to what I said a little earlier, man. Nobody is lining up to give us anything, Eddie. We ain't getting no handouts, bro. So gotta give you all the tools that you need to utilize these 10 fingers and these 2 hands, bro, to dig it up out of the mud for yourself. And education. And so look at it like this. Education, if I gotta go dig something up out of the mud, education is a shovel, bro. That's the best metaphor of the whole conversation, man. Because you're gonna need to be educated in something at some point, at some time, really, in order to be. And listen, I don't care if you're an accountant. I don't care if you're a doctor. I don't care if you're a mechanic. I don't care if you're a teacher. You got to know how to write. You got to know how to spell. You got to know how to complete sentences, right? You got to know how to you got to know how to file your taxes. You got to know how to multiply, add, subtract, all these different things, man. So there is a need for there to be a buy-in for young people, man. And so I try to stress that. And again, you know, in certain situations, when people, if you want to say it's because of what I look like on the outside, my exterior tried to keep me from something, my ability to go through the proper channels, bro, and bark up the right trees, bro, and construct 17 pages, 18 pages worth of factual information
that you had to actually find.
All of that.
Yeah,
all of that, and it you know, again, it speaks to your ability to defend yourself, okay, and your ability to fight back. Bro. You know, when people trying to cut short your destiny, bro, and we just not having it over this way.
Yeah, bro, you hit the nail on the head, man. I went to court last week for my job. I had to represent my company, and man, they were like, bro, you know, we had to, you know, somebody was obviously trying to sue us. But the one thing, again, going back to education, you go in to get your car fixed. You sign the document giving them consent to work on your vehicle. That is a legally binding document. Now, what people don't understand is that whatever goes on that piece of paper, you got to make sure that you document everything that happens from the time that they sign it, that customer signs that paper, to the time you give it back to them. Because everything that you put on that document, it can be upheld in the court of law.
Absolutely.
And if somebody tries to say that you did this, you messed this up, if you don't have proper documentation, proper information, and you know, facts to, you know, if it does go into the court of law to defend what you're saying, you go ahead and put a blank check and let them write whatever amount it is. And I prevented that from happening for my company, bro.
100%. So in the corporate world, they call that CYA.
You bet your life. Yes, sir.
That's what they show to do. So yeah, that's what that's called. And you know, you live and you learn through these experiences and stuff like that. But again, man, again, if we don't possess the rudimentary skills to be able to read, to be able to write, to be able to talk, to be able to articulate and utilize problem solving, emotional intelligence, all these different. And when you standing up there on the stand, I listen. I'd have been in court a couple times. That's an uncomfortable. I don't care if you there for somebody looking at you commit the commission of a crime, or if you just there to testify or whatever. That's not a comfortable place to be at.
It's not
at all. And and so they're definitely. But when you open your mouth, when you speak, when you carry yourself, you need to be articulate and know what it is that you're talking about. You need to be competent, because I do believe that competence also builds and creates in us a certain level of confidence. Does that make sense? 100%.
And
100%.
I wouldn't have, dude. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I love college, every bit of it, bro. Like if you ask 10 people, 7 of them are gonna say public speaking is one of their biggest fears, and I got over that fear once I went to school.
Absolutely, me too. In speech class. In speech class, man. I remember it.
Yeah, man. Hey, real quick before I let you go, I gotta have you back on here at some point.
Man, whenever you name the time and the place, bro.
Yeah, we gonna because we're gonna bring somebody special back on here, man. We touched on him a little bit, but we're gonna have him back on here.
Okay, so it's gonna be a surprise for me, or I can't know right now.
I'll let you know.
Okay. I'm with it. I don't
want to ruin it for him. But I sent you something too. Check your messenger when you get off. When we get off of here, man. I sent you something.
Okay.
Special.
Okay. Yes, sir. Hey, listen, man. Before we get out of here, I want to tell you that I personally am very proud of the man that you have become. The leader in your household and your community. The fact that you have done this is something really that I aspire to do. I've had these ideas. We talked about this, kind of kicked this back and forth. Something I would like to do up at the school, man. To champion diversity, to show the diversity of Eisenhower Middle School, but also to kind of show the humanity and the side of what makes the place where I work at a place that I've come to call home, man, very special, man. So I admire everything about you, man, and the fact that you have been able to put this together, man, is so dope, so dope. And you know, little things, big things have small beginnings, and I hope that this is something that ends up blowing up, man, and being a huge success for you. You already successful, just to the fact that you branched out to do this, bro. And I'm so impressed by it, man. Thank you, and I'm honored to be here and be so long-winded and be talking and taking up 2 hours and 15 minutes of your time and all of that, bro. I appreciate it.
This is Sugar Trey, man. Ain't that long-winded about it, man? You dropped some gems to these people, man.
Sugar.
I want to give you your flowers too, bro, because again, you one of those type of dudes who really don't understand the impact that you had on me. I had my AAU coach on here about a month ago, man, and I don't know if you've seen that episode, but he played a huge role in life, man, earlier on, you know, in the development of what you see. But like I said, when I came to Oklahoma, bro, you were one of them dudes, man, who put his arm over my shoulder, like, hey, look, I'm gonna show you how this manhood stage, man.
Yeah.
I watched everything you did, from the swag to how you raised those kids to what you went through, bro. Trust me when I tell you, I was watching everything, man. How you carried yourself. How God was number one in your life. I watched it. And hey, shout out to Debster. When you met Debster, Debbie Swanson.
Yeah. I think I'll keep her.
How you put her up here, bro? How you did this and put her up here, bro?
It would have took a couple more hands for me to do that the way you just did it. But she's been very instrumental in that. We can go a whole nother hour, man, probably talking about our wives. And you know what? Something else too that there needs to be a light shined on it is marriage, man. The institution, the importance, man, all of that. But yeah, man, I appreciate this. This was a treat, man. This was a treat.
Yeah, I definitely got to have you back on, man. Man, I appreciate you, man. This was huge for me, and a lot of people wanted to hear about education. So I thought about a couple of different people, but you was definitely at the top of that list. That's why I had you on here, because I knew you was gonna be able to shed light on it, man. So I definitely appreciate it.
100%. So really, okay, the reason, and I don't know, maybe because this has already been super long, but I went and got this paper that I had typed up, because I was prepared to offer, more than just my emotion and my feelings, some statistics and stuff like that. Because I wrote a paper. No, we good though. I feel like I definitely touched on everything I touched on in this paper. I just didn't, you know what I mean? It was a lot of stuff about, the paper, the topic of the paper was written on critical race theory, and what it actually means. Because I think, a couple years ago, a lot of people were up in arms about how it supposedly teaches that one race is better than another one, and that's not what that's not what critical race theory is about at all. But
let's take a couple minutes touch on it. If you don't
okay, mind. Because so look at this. I'm at about 13%, and I gotta go cook my wife dinner. So
I got you.
So I'm gonna blaze through this anyway. So what critical race theory attempts to do is to explain why there seems to be such a disproportionate number of people of color who are in these disadvantageous positions. Does that make sense? So it doesn't have anything to do with teaching anybody that one race is better than the other one or any of that. It seeks to explain stuff like this. Okay, and I looked this up because I found these numbers, and I think that these relate to Lawton Public Schools. Okay, there's 25%. 25% African American students in AP courses, 18% Hispanic, 38% that are white, 3% Asian, 6 Native American, and 10 multiracial. All right. LPS students in talented courses, 17% African American, 16% Hispanic, 49% white, 5% Asian, 6% Native American. All right. LPS out of school suspension. Listen to this. 42% African American, 14% Hispanic, 27% white, 1% Asian, 6% Native American, 10% multiracial. All right. Percentage of public school people, principals, people in leadership positions, 6.7% African American. All right. After I get my degree, I hope to be a part of that 6.7. Maybe it'll go up to 7%. I don't know. 78% white and 11% other. Percentage of distribution of public school teachers by race and ethnicity, 1.1%. 1.1% African American. 79.8% white, right? 8.4% Native American, 4.7% Hispanic. Okay, and this is I got all this stuff off the dashboard of nces.ed.go. Okay, so this is like a website that I pulled this off of, and I was able to get a couple of statistics. Anyway, to wrap a big bow around that, what does all that say? That all that says is that people of color need to buy into education because we need more representation. We need more people who look like us so that the little kids who are coming up in education can see that people like them, that look like them, can also be successful in these fields and in these different endeavors, man. And I think I feel really good about where I'm at and what it is that I'm doing. I never in a million years would have saw myself being a principal or on the path to becoming one of those, or even being a dean. But I'm definitely glad that I got the opportunity to talk about this, speak about this, and I'm grateful that you have offered me a platform, bro. I love you dearly, man.
Hey, bro,
100%.
listen. It starts with people like you, man. Shout out to you. Jasmine Tolliver is another one. She's a principal now. What does it start in the home? Like, how do we get more? Because that was a huge
definitely. It starts there because home is as big a factor in education as anything else. If I'm trying to teach you something at school, and the only time you hear about these things, and that includes character education, social emotional learning, and all that other type of stuff. If I teach you the opposite of what you're learning at the crib, then we kind of have a wash. I wouldn't even call it a wash. You can't overcome, and I don't want to say anything crazy about anybody, but education can't necessarily a lot of times overcome bad parenting or misguided parenting. I don't want to call anybody, because I don't think any of our kids, but there are a lot of factors that play into that. If I wasn't a really good student and I didn't really want to do well in school, my kids probably won't show that aptitude either. Does that make sense?
100%.
Yeah. So there definitely has to be, and I love what I do, because I think more so than most people, more so than anybody, I get to establish connections between the school and home. So there is an opportunity, I feel like, that I have even more so than most administrators, most teachers, just most people in the building, man, to convey the importance of how bad I want for each and every one of these children up underneath my charge to be successful academically, to be successful with their character as well, but also for these expectations and desires that we have for them here at school to line up and match the expectations that they have at home, man.
100%. Man, well 100%. Said, man. Well said, 100%. Bro. Man.
Yeah, man.
Go ahead and cook. I don't want Debbie call me Eddie. You know what? You held them up too long.
yeah. And listen, so check this out. When we started, my phone was on 100%. It's at 11%, bro. We've been rocking.
Hey, well worth the time, bro. And look, like you said about a week or two ago when we first thought about having this, it's gonna be so organic. We're not gonna even realize how much time we've been on here for 2 hours and 24 minutes.
2 hours and 23 minutes. And I love it, bro. I love it. I appreciate it.
Hey, bro. Hey, as always, man, love you, man. Keep doing what you're doing, bro. Keep motivating and inspiring people because we need it. Our kids need it, bro. And man, I wish nothing but the best, man. God bless you, man. I appreciate you, man.
Likewise. I love you, dog. God bless you. Don't run from the rain.
All right, man. I appreciate you, brother. Yes, sir.
Yes,
Appreciate
sir.
you, my brethren.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Peace.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, folks. Man, I appreciate y'all for staying with me, man. This has been a very, very informative discussion, man. My special guest, De'Andre Swanson, man, it's a longtime friend of mine, man. Well in the 20-year friendship. But as you can see, man, he's educating our kids, man. I think it starts at the home, for real. It starts at home, man. Again, like he said, if you weren't a good student yourself, or if you don't care as much about being a great student of education that's not at the forefront of what you're teaching in your home, it's not going to matter to these kids. And then they're going to start to kind of expand into other areas. And remember this, they get way more a lot of these kids get a lot of influence from outside the home. So it's very important in what we talk to our kids about in our household, man. So, man, I really appreciate y'all for sticking with me, man. Again, I want to give a shout out to De'Andre Swanson for being my guest today, man. He did a very good job, man. Hey, peace and love, man. I love y'all. Thank y'all for sticking with me this long, man. Y'all have a good one. Peace. Y'all hear my son crying in the background. I gotta go tend to that, man. So y'all have a good one.
This is the golden rule. Trust me.